I just learned that one of my friends lost a baby, and I'm so disappointed in myself that I can't be stronger person, a stronger source of support for her. I love her. I love all of her babies. Whether they made it or not. I'm compelled to acknowledge when my ex-boyfriend's stepmom I had just told that bitch I was pregnant again. And she just like went insane with whatever feelings she had, right? And she had her daughter drop my cats off. Her daughter couldn't handle all of my cats. My cats got dropped off in this neighborhood where they were just set free in a neighborhood that they'd never been to. And I spent all day looking for them, and I got them all. And it was really, really hot, and I remember thinking this probably isn't good for me because of the cement. I had to lay down under the cars and try to coax my cats out, you know. And I'm not saying that's why I lost my baby, but I would lose my baby later that night. But it's different, right? It's not obvious. It's not obviously something that I didn't give a shit about, but I suppressed that pregnancy so deep inside of myself because I already knew what I was working with. I already knew that I knew how my family would behave. I had just moved in with my grandmother because my ex had the physical violence had increased to dangerous levels. It was 2 times in 1 week I had been choked. And it was in front of people. He didn't give a fuck. There was nothing stopping him at this point. There was no inner monologue saying, this isn't okay, you know? So I had to get away from him, and when I knew I was pregnant, all of a sudden I just realized, oh God, I'm pregnant. I had that same feeling, you know, one time, and I took a test that said negative. 2 days later I took another test and it was positive, and then my cats were, and then that night I had a heavy period, and that's how most women have their miscarriages. They think it's just a heavy period, right? So I didn't have the same amount of time to connect, plan, and it was a different experience for me. I just knew I couldn't really tell anybody, right? But I have to acknowledge that loss because it was just another part of me, another experience that creates who I am right now, right? I'm so sorry for my friend. Oh, lizard. Hey, pal. Oh, I thought I was done having to hunt lizards. I'll set you outside. Hold on. Oh, God. I haven't had to deal with the lizard in a couple weeks. It's been nice. I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm trying very hard to just sleep through it. I know that's not good. I know I have to get away from my family, but it's so much easier said than done. It's really hard to talk about all of it. I feel like I will never have a whole heart ever again. It's so scary to face a future going forward by myself, because I am just not equipped with an overabundance of strength. I have an aunt who's, I'm sorry, I can't see her as anything but fucking evil. She's a very wealthy woman and she proclaims to understand she is blessed. I resent the fact that someone like her has a successful pregnancy and she is rearing a child in this world as a terrible example, and it's so fucking not fair. And I have no delusions that life is supposed to be fair. I know better, right? But she's such a nasty, nasty woman who goes out of her way to kick people when they're down, to make people's lives harder than they need be. She was very aware that my grandmother was a narcissist. She's acknowledged that to me before, okay? And rather than do what she can to like ease the burden that it played on my mother or even my mother's children, she's going to, my God, that bitch didn't tell us. That bitch tries to lump me in the same category as my mother. She knows very well that I don't get along with my mom. She knows why I don't get along with my mom. She knows that the vastly different way my mother was treated versus how she was treated has played a huge part in who my mother is today. And just fuck you, Jennifer Langford Bosch, you goddamn miserable bitch. Fuck you. I'd like to release the hatred I feel for people like you so I can move forward completely. I know I'm better off without people like you because you're nasty, but it's still hard because you weren't always so nasty. I wasn't always ashamed of you at all. My aunt was my role model for a good portion of my life. She was someone I could look up to, even if we weren't totally close, because we didn't have heaps in common. I always felt like she was a fair individual that I could go to if I needed to, but I did not abuse that privilege at all. I want to be able to be there for other people when they're going through heartache. I don't need bitches like my aunt keeping me down. So I really want to release that. I don't know how, you know? Clearly she doesn't find motherhood very satisfying because she makes time to be nasty. Right? There's nothing I can do to help her. If you're a praying kind, say a little prayer for my friend and her loss. It may be from my nasty aunt that she grows a heart. I don't know, that she finds her heart, because she used to have one. She did. Okay? To everybody else, you know, if you know how it feels, I'm so sorry you know how it feels. I really am. Well, I love you. And I mean it. I really do.